You once said, I was in law school and I didn't know how to deal with myself. I hadn't played ball in years. I couldn't sleep. I was having withdrawal on a number of fronts. Describe what was going on in your head then.
When I got hurt, first time, second time, you're just sitting there, and back then they didn't have arthroscopic surgery, and you're having your second, third knee operations, and I was so fortunate because I had a gentleman by the name of Bob Kennedy who was the farm director of the Cardinals, and he became the GM of the Cubs, and he traded for me. I had my second knee operation, and I'd always hit well. And he goes, look, just get well, and we're going to give you a contract, and we'll continue to talk. So I knew I couldn't do anything for a year because I had another knee operation. So I said, I'm going to take my anger somewhere else. So I went to law school.
And I know you've said this before, that there was a period of time where you were kind of an angry person.
What was it? It was just the fact that I'd made the all-star team in A-ball, and I was starting to understand the game. I'd watch 40 players get released every year, which shocked me. Because the game had given me everything in my life, my education, when you signed, it was just tremendous. But you'd see dreams go away. High draft picks who got hurt, who could have gone on to college, and they ended up with little. It's a devastating thing to see, and no one knows that about professional baseball. I would sit in the dugout, I could smell fear. I could see it in the players. And I kept on thinking, I got this education. I'm playing baseball for very different reasons. It's my passion. It's not needed for me to go out and have a life because I had my education.
So what was the anger?
The anger when I was done was, I knew, because they had to drain my knee every 10 days. That was no fun, by the way, but I knew that to be durable in the game, you couldn't continue this way. And so I just wanted to bury myself where I didn't want to talk to people. And going to law school is a good way not to talk to people because you just bury yourself. I just worked all the time, went to school all the time, and really didn't interact with anybody.
Why didn't you want to have a life?
Because I felt my purpose was exhausted,
What do you mean?
Because I wanted to be a ball player. And I had to go through that bridge of transitioning to the next life.
At the time, depressed?
I would say the term anger may lead to a psychology of I just don't want to think about it. Maybe that was a depression. I just didn't. It was always such a vision of mine, and I just didn't want to think about it. I had an organic chemistry professor, Dr. Gross. He was from Germany, and we had a lab assistant in there from India, and he was really a nice guy, Ravindra. And so in organic chemistry, you have to distill things. You have to wait for these things to happen. So I go, hey, Ravindra, let's put the garbage can in the corner. We had these little corks. Let's see if we can throw it over and see how many you can make. So Professor Gross walks in and sees this ongoing, and he goes, I go to the game and I watched you play, and goes, you're very good. I see that, but I want to tell you something. For you, what goes on above your shoulders is going to be vastly more important to you than what goes on below. And so, sitting there in that hospital bed, who do I think of? Professor Gross. And him going, God, how did he knew that?